All right. So this would be a scenario of a rep who has, two no sales back to back, two no sales in a row. So, hey, Johnny Rep, I wanted to arrange this live call with you. I know we usually do coaching over voice memo, but I want to arrange this live call with you because I think it's really important for us to dig in real quick, just to kind of get to the bottom of what's causing the no sales. There's only 4 reasons why someone doesn't buy, and I'm curious of what those reasons are. And it's not necessarily that they're not buying. Let me frame that a little bit better. It's why the representative's not selling. So it's always the representative is either selling them Cutco or the customer selling the representative on why they shouldn't buy. So it's the rep is selling the customer why they should buy, or the customer selling the representative on why they shouldn't. So there's 4 reasons why the rep would not make the sale to the customer. Number 1, they don't believe in the product or they don't believe in the price. Number 2, they're not following the training manual. They're just not reading the entire book, start to finish. They're not cutting up 5 foods. They're not asking for the sale when it says to. They're not writing prices down. They're just not following the program. Number 3, they're not seeing someone who could buy the knives, which is they don't have a job or a house. And number 4, there's a lack of urgency. There's not a reason that the representative is not giving the customer a strong enough reason on why they should buy today versus waiting till later. It's really only one of those 4. So Johnny Rep, out of those 4, which one do you think it is for you during these last 2 no sales? It's one of those 4. So which one do you think it is? So Stephen, why don't you role play with me?
I don't know. Which one do you think it is?
We'll go with Sierra since you're feeling a little sick under the weather. So Sierra, why don't you role play with me? So which one of those 4 do you think it is? Lack of price or product conviction, lack of prospects, like the customers, they could not put groceries in the refrigerator if they needed to. They couldn't, if the TV broke, they couldn't afford a new TV. Or is it the not following the training manual, cutting 5 foods, going through the process there? Or is it, lack of urgency that, the representative doesn't, believe that they need to get it right now. They could wait till later. Like, which one do you think it is for you?
I'm just thinking like the understanding, so lack of urgency, I guess, of their situations, understanding their situations that they can only get it later.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about that. So if a customer feels like they just want it later, that just means they didn't really want it bad enough now, right? Which is totally cool. Obviously, they're not going to lose sleep at night if they don't buy Cutco. They're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. It's no big deal. But let me ask you this question. Did they like Cutco?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you ask them that question? Did you like Cutco?
No.
Okay. So how do you know they liked it?
Oh, they were telling me they loved it.
Okay. So they told you they loved it. Okay. Perfect. So let me ask you a question. When is the best value for the customer to buy Cutco? When would be the best time for them to buy it? If they're going to use it for the rest of their life and then pass it down to their kids, at what moment is going to be the best value for them? So if they buy it today, if they buy it in 5 years, they buy it in 10 years, they buy it next month, they buy it in 30 years. If they're going to use it from the moment they buy it and they're going to use it for the next 30, 40, 50 years, and then pass it down to their kids, at what moment is it going to be the best value for them?
Probably today.
Like last month, maybe 10 years ago, right? But 10 years ago can't exist, so today is probably going to be the best. Let's draw some numbers out. If they bought a $300 average sale from you, Sierra, $300, okay? Let's call it 400 just so they could do the 5 pay. You could do 300 if you want to do the 3 pay, either way. So let's say $300. And they're going to use that $300 in Cutco for the next 30 years. That costs them $10 a year. $10 a year for that $300 in Cutco for the next 30 years. Now, if they wait 10 years and they buy it in 10 years and they only use it for 20 years, well, number one, that $300 in Cutco doesn't get them as much Cutco because the prices are going to go up. And they lose 10 years of using the product. So they get less knives, and they don't get a chance to use the product line for as long. Sounds to me it's providing them a disservice. So if they put $100 down today, it's $10 a year for the next 30 years, right? That's like $1 a month, less than $1 a month. It's pretty much free. You could probably find $1 a month in your couch cushion. And we're not letting them purchase the product line because of a lack of urgency. Could you see how that's providing a disservice by not explaining that to the customer and giving them the chance to own it?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, Sierra, a student doesn't show a customer in those terms because they're fearful that they're going to be pushy or high pressure. But here's what I'll tell you. Being pushy and high pressure doesn't exist if you're selling for the customer's benefit. The only way pushy and high pressure can exist if the representative is selling for their own benefit. A good sales rep will never feel pushy if they're selling it for the intent of the customer. They will only feel pushy if they're selling it for the intent of themselves. So my question for you, Miss Sierra, are you selling Cutco for your goals? Or are you selling Cutco because you truly believe it's in the best interest of your customer to own it? And it's okay to sell for your goals. But I think you really need to think about the answer to that question, because then we could come back to the number one reason why someone might not sell, which is they don't believe in the product or they don't believe in the price. And if that's the case, then we could have that conversation. And then I would have that conversation. And that conversation would then be the buns. Buy one, choose every day, never replace, save money. Let's talk about it. If their TV fell off the wall, what are they going to do? They're going to go buy a new TV. When? Today. They're going to have a new TV there today. If their laptop fell on the ground and they have to go get a new laptop, what are they going to do? They're going to have a new laptop by the end of the day. If their phone fell in the toilet, they're going to have a new phone by the end of the day. If there's no fruit in the refrigerator, if their in-laws came over to spend the weekend with them on a surprise visit, they're going to go to the grocery store and buy new food to put in the fridge for their in-laws. All of those things cost more than Cutco. If they got a speeding ticket, are they going to say, take me to jail, I can't pay my fine? No, they're going to put it on the credit card. Money is not what buys Cutco, it's value. So let's talk about value. Buy one, choose every day, never replace, saves money. And then it's the buns conversation. And then if they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Let's talk about your skill set. And then it's the training manual conversation. Go ahead and show me the piece of paper on how you present the prices. Go ahead and do your close for me. Hey, let me hear how you explain the features and benefits of Cutco. Hey, go ahead and explain the guarantee to me. How do you explain the guarantee? Hey, can you explain to me the benefits of why a trimmer is awesome? Hey, do a table knife demo for me real quick. Let me see how you sell a table knife. And then we'll do some skill set. Then it's like, tell me, does your customer have a job? What do they do? Oh, they work at the post office? Okay. What does their husband do? Oh, he works as a factory worker? Okay, post office factory worker. They're probably making, let's say they're only making $1,000 a week combined between the two of them. That's $4,000 a month. If they're making $4,000 a month, could they afford $100 out of the $4,000 if they wanted to? Sure. That's a studio set on a 5-pay. So could you and I both agree that they could at least buy a studio set right now today if they wanted to? Sure. So the question is, how bad can you get them to want it? What's going to get your customer to want it on this next appointment? How many items how much food can you cut up on this one? How many high fives can you give them? How many times can you get the customer to say the word yes on this presentation? How many questions can you ask them? How many times can you get them to smile? Cool. Hey, Johnny Rep, if you do all that, I got a lead to believe you're going to break this no sale streak, and you're going to, instead of going 2 no sales in a row, I could see you going 2, 3, 4, 5 sales in a row. Are you ready for this? Cool. What are you going to implement into your next appointment, Johnny Rapp, that we just talked about? And then I would have a conversation there. So I'm gonna stop the recording for right now. I'll pause. So the reason why you create this frame for the student or for the representative is because it's just like if I'm coaching someone how to play basketball, and and they, let's say they miss 5 shots in a row, I can see where the ball is hitting the backboard or hitting the rim, and which direction it's bouncing off the backboard of the rim, which just by seeing the ricochet, I don't even have to look at their form. I could just see the ricochet if I'm a good coach and figure out what's causing the ball to not go in. I don't even have to look at their form at all. I could see the reaction of the ball off the backboard or off the rim and come in and say, either you're shooting it too hard, the angle that you're taking is a little off, right? Like I could diagnose without even seeing you, just by seeing the reaction of the ball. So as your coach, I don't need to see the customer. I just can hear their response and tell you what's creating that response. And it's one of these 4 things. Which one is it? Cool. It's that one. Let's talk about it. Because it's only going to be one of those 3 or 4 things.